The twin... Look, you're not in this one. Do you want to just... No. Sod off. Go back. You're not in this one. Go away. Shoot. All the way. Very mature. Right. The twin city of proud Ankh and pestilent Morpork, of which all other cities of time and space are, as it were, mere reflections, has stood many assaults in its long and crowded history, and has always risen to flourish again. So the fire and its subsequent flood, which destroyed everything left that was not flammable and added a particularly noisome flux to the survivors' problems, did not mark its end. Rather, it was a fiery punctuation mark, a coal-like comma, or salamander semicolon, in a continuing story. Several days before these events, a ship came up the Ankh on the dawn tide and fetched up, among many others, in the maze of wharves and docks of the Morpork shore. It carried a cargo of pink pearls, milk nuts, pomace, some official letters for the patrician of Ankh-Morpork, and a man. It was the man who engaged the attention of blind Hugh, one of the beggars on early duty at Pearl Dock. He nudged Cripple in the ribs and pointed wordlessly. Now the stranger was standing on the quayside, watching several straining seamen carry a large brass-bound chest down the gangplank. Another man, obviously the captain, was standing beside him. There was about the seaman every nerve in blind Hugh's body which tended to vibrate in the presence of even a small amount of impure gold at 50 paces streamed into his brain. The air of one anticipating imminent enrichment. Sure enough, when the chest had been deposited on the cobbles, the stranger reached into a pouch, and there was the flash of a coin. Several coins. Gold. Blind Hugh, his body twanging like a hazel rod in the presence of water, whistled to himself. Then he nudged Wah again, and sent him scurrying off down a nearby alley into the heart of the city. When the captain walked back onto his ship, leaving the newcomer looking faintly bewildered on the quayside, blind Hugh snatched up his begging cup and made his way across the street with an ingratiating leer. Much like that. At the sight of him, the stranger started to fumble urgently with his money pouch.
Good day to see you then, sire.
Blind Hugh began, and found himself looking up into a face with 4 eyes in it. He turned to run. Said the stranger, and grabbed his arm. Hugh was aware that the sailors lining the rail of the ship were laughing at him. At the same time, his specialized senses detected an overpowering impression of money. He froze. The stranger let go and quickly thumbed through a small black book he had taken from his belt. Then he said,
"Hello!"
What?
Said Hugh. The man looked blank.
"Hello!"
He repeated rather louder than necessary, and so carefully that Hugh could hear the vowels tinkling into place.
Hello yourself.
Hugh riposted. The stranger smiled wildly, then fumbled yet again in the pouch. This time his hand came out holding a large gold coin. It was in fact slightly larger than an $8,000 Ankian crown, and the design on it was unfamiliar, but it spoke inside Hugh's mind in a language he understood perfectly.
"My current owner
It said,
is in need of succor or assistance. Why not give it to him, so you and me can go off somewhere and enjoy ourselves?"
Subtle changes in the beggar's posture made the stranger feel more at ease. He consulted the small book again.
"I wish to be directed to an hotel, a tavern, lodging, house, inn, hospice, caravanserai."
What? Oh!
Said Hugh, taken aback. Said the stranger. Hugh was aware that a small crowd of fishwives, shellfish diggers, and freelance golfers were watching them with interest.
Look,
He said.
I know a good tavern. Is that enough?
He shuddered shuddered to think of the gold coin escaping from his life. He'd keep that one, even if Ymor confiscated all the rest. And the big chest that comprised most of the newcomer's luggage looked to be full of gold, Hugh decided. The four-eyed man looked at his book.
I would like to be directed to an hotel, place of repose, tavern,
Yes, alright. Come on then.
Said Hugh hurriedly. He picked up one of the bundles and walked away quickly. The stranger, after a moment's hesitation, strolled after him.
Come on then.
A train of thought shunted its way through Hugh's mind. Getting the newcomer to the broken drum so easily was a stroke of luck, no doubt of it. And Ymor would probably reward it, but for all his new acquaintance's mildness, there was something about him that made Hugh uneasy. And for the life of him, he couldn't figure out what it was. Not the two extra eyes, although they were. There was something else. He glanced back. The little man was ambling along in the middle of the street, looking around him with an expression of keen interest. Something else Hugh saw nearly made him gibber. The massive wooden chest, which he had last seen resting solidly on the quayside, was following on its master's heels with a gentle rocking gait. Slowly, in case a sudden movement on his part might break his fragile control over his own legs, Hugh bent slightly so that he could see under the chest. There were lots and lots of little legs. Very deliberately, Hugh turned around and walked very carefully toward the broken drum. You can come back now.
Oh, cheerfully.
BooKlub is created by book lovers for book lovers. If you've shared our joy of books and you've enjoyed watching us bumble our way through this as much as we have loved bumbling our way through it, please like, share and subscribe and let us know which book you would like to see us do next. I'm Nick, signing off.